Good evening, all. I want to apologize in advance for the background noise. My duplex neighbors, which is not my neighbor connected to me, but the duplex over to my left, is having barbecue, and so they're also having loud music. Isn't that nice of them? They're so nice. So my apologies in advance of that, but we will kick off here. I'm just opening up my Facebook so I can see if anybody comments. YouTube will pop up on my StreamYard. It's 9, so you know me, I'm not going to linger with this. And people will join in and watch us as they get the notification. I usually like to get in actually a couple of minutes early, but was not able to do that this evening. My apologies. I'm sorry for not looking directly at the camera. I'm trying to check something real quickly here. All right. Okay, so here we are back. This is Thursday. If you're unfamiliar with what we do on Thursday evenings, we do a broadcast called Let's Chat, where we discuss topics, really just kind of life topics in a very unique way. The focus, if you haven't watched any of the broadcasts, really is community. And it's about our lives. And I thought about this today. I really need to drive this home for anybody who's wondering exactly kind of what I'm going for. There's a lot of talk about, especially because of what's going on in regards to the pandemic and all the other things that has been happening before the pandemic and since the pandemic, that we need to really unite. We need to come together. As much as I despise this phrase for obvious reasons, make America great again. Ask me later if you want to know why I despise this phrase. But the reality of it is, at some point or another, it's really important that we recognize that we live in a community. We live in a society, and within the society, you heard me talk about this before, we have communities in this society. So if you so happen to be, now if you're on my Gabe Matthews Facebook page, I do have people who don't live in this country. So I don't know what time you would be able to see this or watching this, but welcome. I do apologize for that banner. Not my desire for you to see that. And I clicked something and it's up there now. So now it's time to figure out how to get that thing off. Anyway, so, and if you're, there we go. So at some point or another, if we're going to talk about, coming together, if we're going to talk about being together and all of this kind of thing, it's extremely important then that we do that. We can't say it and don't actually do it. So it's extremely important to recognize that there must be a need to dig in and to actually engage. See, I did some things. And I'll have to deal with it later. I do apologize if that's distracting. It's off now, but I think it'll flash back on in a second. Anyway, so it's extremely important to recognize that if we're going to really build stronger communities, and we've talked about the community can be it's you plus another person. That's immediate community. So if you're married, you and your spouse, you have children, you, your spouse, your children, or you and your children, grandchildren, and then we just build out from there. So when we say community, that's what we mean. And with that in mind, with that as a focus, with that as a backdrop and a definition, if you will, a working definition of community, is extremely important, then we recognize that we have to engage. We have to have discussions if we want to have healthier communities. And so these topics that we choose ultimately are about that. It's about facilitating or doing our best to contribute to helping us all facilitate better communities, right? That's the goal. So Gabe, what are you getting at here? That's what I'm getting at, is trying to put us in a space, to put us in a place to have the kind of communities that we're talking about, to have the kind of communities that we would want to raise our children in, right? That we would want to live in ourselves. Excuse me. That's the goal, ladies and gentlemen. So that being said, now that may not be your immediate thought when you come to a broadcast like this. You may be thinking about, you may be considering, just you personally. And so as we talk about these things, we do give rise and attention and respect to you as individuals as well, right? We give some regard to you as individuals who are the ones who make up the community. So we try, that's the uniqueness here. We try to cover both ends, but it's really two sides of one coin. That we are the individual building blocks of any community. It's not our cars, it's not, and what I love about this, and let me say this and get into our discussion. We're going to do this, cover this topic over 2 weeks, so I can spend a little time here in the beginning that I don't normally do, but I want to do it this week. What I think we need to understand is, and these discussions on Thursdays, by the way, I got a lot of, obviously, individuals who are Christian on my regular Facebook page, and that's cool. Glad to have you with us. I have non-believers, or I have people who believe in other things other than Christianity and Christ and on and on. And so we try to do these topics in a way that are inviting to those who are not believers in the scriptures or in Jesus Christ. You may believe that he exists, but you don't consider him a personal savior. So we try to do these topics. And let me say to my Christian brothers and sisters, this is crucial. It's not necessarily different than when you're on your job and you're talking to a person who is a non-believer in Christ and you're having a conversation. You don't have to compromise your position, your belief system. See, I don't compromise my belief system just because I can talk about drama, divorce, depression, on and on and on, without saying God every five seconds. And hopefully that's the other piece here, right? That I am modeling for us who want to be relevant in our communities, or as Paul says, to be all things to all men that I might save some. Hopefully I'm demonstrating how you might be able to engage in the topics of life, right? How you might be able to talk about the subjects we're going to talk about tonight, or we have talked about, some of them extremely difficult, like last week and the week before, right? Sexual deviance, community secrets, and then we dealt with children in the first segment or first part, and then we dealt with adults living with pain in the second. Very serious topic, very serious topic. And we were able to present, and this is not a brag on us, but we were able to present really without going all Christianized, where every little thing is God hates this, God hates that, God this, God that. No, we were able to talk about the subject matters from a standpoint of being human beings. So we have human relevance, right? As well as maintain our spiritual dispositions. So there's that little special piece there, because obviously many of the people on my Facebook page are Christians. Now, you may not be able to talk the way I do. I'm a public speaker. I get paid to talk. I get paid to talk in the public. I get paid to address subject matter. And obviously, this I don't do for pay. This is for free. But this is to demonstrate some level of diversity, and that we can have conversations in the public square, if you will, or in this case, the social media public square. But largely, I want to make sure you understand, this is about community. This is really community building through social media. This is really what it is. We are intent on community building and using the social media platform that we have to do that. Period. Point blank, period. And in my community, right out my house, my son, and as well as in my neighborhood and so on and so on and so forth, and the grocery stores I attend and the department stores I attend, I am quite sure there are non-believers in those spaces. I'm quite sure there are non-believers in those spaces. And I don't wear I'm a Christian t-shirt. I wear a basketball t-shirt or whatever the case may be. I don't walk around with a business card, though I have them, promoting what I do for a living. I don't walk around, hey, did you know I'm a Christian? No, I'm able to interact in my community. Get it? And so that's what, if you've wondered, you've caught a piece of a broadcast or you've watched the broadcast, and every once in a while you're listening to the subject matter and you're kind of wondering, what's my goal? My goal is community building, period, point blank. That's why I tell you at the end, and I'm telling you now, share these out. Use what I'm doing here on Thursday nights to help build community. Send this to non-believers. Even though I may occasionally mention something about my faith, our shared faith, send this to your non-believing friends because the subject matters matter. The subject matters matter. Now, if you've missed any of these broadcasts, they are, of course, here on my Facebook page, but they are also on my YouTube page. Now, my YouTube page is my business YouTube page. I am in the business of ministry full-time, but I suspect if you go to the Victory in Christ Broadcasting page, as a matter of fact, let me do this real quick, and I'll show you what you'll see when you type that in YouTube. This is what you'll see. That logo is what you're looking for. If you go to my YouTube page, if you're right now on Facebook and you want to see what my logo looks like on my business YouTube page, legit YouTube page, that's what you're looking for. Victory in Christ Broadcasting, that's the logo you're looking for. All right. So there's a lot of different Victory in Christ, victories, and kind of amalgamations of that name, but that's my logo. So if you see a bunch of different YouTube presentations, that's my logo. All right. That's the logo. Enough of that. All right, to what we're here to do. What's extremely important to me is that we understand that that's my goal. So the next thing is let's chat, let's talk, let's communicate. I have several people, I've mentioned this before, who will contact me and say, I really want to say something, but okay, like you don't have to keep doing that. If you are not comfortable with chiming in, much respect. I've been doing it over a year, but I've done nearly 52 broadcasts. I'm at 38, I believe, broadcasts now. So I've almost hit 52 broadcasts, which of course is a year. 52 weeks, one broadcast a week. I'm at 38 weeks worth of broadcasts over the last year, right? If you feel comfortable with chiming in, do so. But let me just address this again. Don't not comment because you don't want to dominate the conversation. You can't dominate the conversation. I'm the one talking. You may be commenting, but I'm the one talking. I'll respond or not respond based on where I am in my mind in regards to subject matter. So you can't dominate the chat. Others will respond or not respond. Good evening to you. Others will respond or not respond to you if they choose to. And we welcome that, by the way. We love for you to chime in because your comments become a part of a bigger a community conversation. Get it? A community conversation that I'm hoping people will have. Most of you potentially don't even know each other except my high school mates and my family, obviously. You all have some knowledge of each other because you've known me for decades, potentially. But then there are many, many, many people I've met over the years who don't know my family, on and on and on and on, may have met me recently. And if you start commenting, you might find some commonality with people, some disagreement, and you might end up making a new Facebook friend. And who knows, maybe even a new friend. So this is how community building, are you getting my point? Okay, first 15 minutes of that, got it. To the topic at large this evening, and what we really want to look at, and we're going to cover over the next 2 weeks. So I had a little wiggle room. I had some time and opportunity to be able to introduce some information. Otherwise, I'm just going to give you the title. It's there, but I want to give it to you again. And sorry, my computer here is. So this week on Let's Chat, discussing the D's. The D's. Part 1. Divorce, depression, desperation, drama, and dating. Now, I could have put a whole lot more D words that are subjects that can have some impact and do have some impact on us. But these are easily interrelated, so they come together in a very real way. Though community is how we're going to bring, I promise you, stay with me for the next couple of weeks, especially if any of these topics matter to you, stay with me. But they come together in some sense. There can be even overlap, because a person who was dating, who ended up getting married, end up going through a divorce, and that spiral because of the drama, which spiraled into depression and even a sense of desperation. And I can rework that 10 different ways, but that's not really what we're going to do. So I don't want you to think about those words necessarily in their interrelation. I want you to think about those words in light of what I just said moments ago in terms of community. Remembering that a community is built up, the building blocks of any community are the people in that community. So I want you to think about divorce, depression, desperation, drama, dating in terms of not just yourself, but the other people in your community. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. I want you to think about those words, and it really doesn't even matter the order: dating, drama, depression, desperation, divorce, or any order. That it's not one bigger than the other. Again, we're not going to be relating these words together to build some tapestry of conversation about those words and how they connect to each other, because they're not 100% connected. A person who's dealing with desperation is not necessarily dealing with depression, though they could be. A person who's gone through divorce may not necessarily be dealing with drama. Maybe in the divorce it was dramatic, but doesn't necessarily mean they're dealing with it now. And a person who's dealing with dating may not be dealing with any of it, or maybe dealing with all of it. They're dating because they went through a divorce. The dating isn't going well. They're dealing with a lot of drama in the dating. And so they're getting desperate because they want to get into a relationship, and their desperation is turning to depression. So see how I can connect them? I can also disconnect them. Now, the reason why 2 weeks is because I'm getting all this out now. It's because we are going to address each of them individually. But we're going to do that as they connect to community. Now, Gabe, how are you going to do that? I'm glad you asked. Let's get it. Let's get it. The reality of it is, no matter how much of a homebody you may consider yourself to be, I used to identify myself that way. Ironically, when I came out of my marriage, i.e. divorce, I was definitely throwing out the homebody. I'm homebody. And I'll be honest, I was using the homebody thing to justify isolation. I said a lot right there. I'm talking about me. I kept saying, oh, no, I'm a homebody. I'm a homebody. I'm a homebody. Now, I worked a job outside of my home. I went to worship outside of my home. This is obviously way before the pandemic. This is nearly 6.5 years ago. 6 years, 4 months, something like that. As of today. Go figure, 6 years, 4 months. Whatever. Okay. Anyway, so the reality of it is I was out of my home most of the time. But when it came to socially speaking, I was very quick to call myself a homebody. Sound familiar? Oh, homebody. Yeah, I don't really do anything. I'm a homebody. I like to be home. I'm a homebody. Now, for me, if I'm telling the truth, that was an excuse to justify not socializing. Notice I'm using the word socializing. I'm not using the word dating at this point. It was justification for me not to socialize, which could include dating. As a matter of fact, the church, the place of worship, I don't like to call it church because we are the church, the place of worship that I was attending, if they had any kind of events, I didn't go. Why? I'm a homebody. See where I'm going? I didn't go. Why? I'm a homebody. If there was any activities in terms of my place of business, which was Southern Hills Elementary School in Shreveport, Louisiana, Cattle Parish schools, I was like, do I have to be there? Yes, Mr. Matthews, is mandatory. Okay, I'll go. Otherwise, I'm a homebody. And so I use the phrase, I'm a homebody, watch this, to essentially stay away from my community. I wasn't interested in community building. I'm going through this divorce. My marriage is over. My son is in California. I'm struggling. So I'm a homebody. I'm a homebody. Oh, I was on Facebook. Yeah. Oh, I was on social media, Instagram. Yeah. I think even at that time I might have been on Twitter. Okay. And I eventually I got onto these dating sites, as they call themselves. But for the most part, I was quickly to throw out that I'm a homebody. I'm a homebody. I'm a homebody. Because the truth of the matter is, I did not want to socialize, let alone date. Now, each word has to be qualified for the sake of the discussion. When I say date, I don't mean categorically, exclusively, or whatever the case may be. I'm not talking about exclusive as opposed to just going out on dates. I'm not getting into that. That's not what this discussion is about. So if you want to talk about exclusive dating as opposed to just going on dates, going on outings, I can call it outings. And if you're going to push the issue, I'll say outings. That doesn't work with my whole the D's. So dates. And technically dates are scheduled events. That's what they are. Dates. Literally scheduled events on a calendar. Give me your dates. Give me your calendared events. Dating, in terms of an exclusive relationship, I'm not going to get into that. Okay. I said I would. So using me, let's go with dating since it came first. I did not want to go on scheduled social events. I did not. Now, Gabe, I understand. That's me all day. I get it. I'm sure some of you, maybe many of you would agree. Hey, you're going through this time of divorce or separation, divorce, and, we get it. You don't want to be out there socializing. Here's the problem. The people in my community were not at fault for what happened in my marriage. Now, that might not be the case in your situation. The people in my community, now you heard me say my son was back in California. His mother, himself, and his siblings had moved back to California. So they were no longer in my physical community. Period. They weren't even in the same area. They were in a different state, 1,800 miles away. So I had no particular reason to withhold myself from my community socially. I said a lot right there. I said a lot right there. I hope you understand where I'm going with this. I was thinking to do that and thought I had justification because of my emotion to do that. But in real truth, with some help, I had to give some thought to the fact of why I was really doing it. It's one thing to say, well, I'm not ready for a relationship. Okay, that's fine. Obviously, I wasn't. But what does that have to do with socializing? What does it have to do with community? What does it have to do with a healthy interaction, mentally, emotionally, physically, with people in my community? Here's another one. You don't like that one? How about this? I'm drama free. I believe this is just another way of saying I've given myself an explanation for why I can disappear from my community. I've given myself an explanation as to why I can just be gone from the community. Anytime I sense drama, and we haven't defined it yet, remember? Anytime I sense whatever I call drama, I give myself permission to disappear. I can give myself permission to just go away because I don't like drama. Now we better define that. We better define that. What I found so interesting in the working definition of drama, now it's not a term I use, but when I've listened to people use that term and how they use it, because that's what we mean by working definition, how a word is used. What I find so interesting is no one has an agreeable definition. No one does. No one does. I imagine if you get 5 people together and say, don't give me an example, just define drama. Just define it. What is your working definition of drama? I can imagine they won't completely agree on the working definition. No, I'm okay with that. I just don't like this. Well, I don't have a problem with that. I just don't like this. Well, I don't like either one of those things. So the reality of it is, when we're talking about dating or outings or socializing, another one of the things that we can do is use the notion of drama, the idea of drama, as a justification to stay away from our community. And you can't have a healthy community if you are afraid of drama. If you think the best way to avoid drama is just not to engage, well then, yeah, I guess truthfully that's a pretty effective way, except before we set our definition, don't we have to deal with the drama within ourselves? Don't we have to consider the drama within us? Don't we have to consider that maybe one of the reasons why we don't connect with our community is us? That maybe we're at the heart of the drama that often ends up taking place? Now, nobody pushes us because we stay away from our community. In fact, even that word community is confusing, because when you try to figure out your community outside of maybe if you have a child, or if you grandkids, or your parents are still alive and with you and around you and your siblings outside, no, okay, just my family, just my family. Let me ask you something. Do you work a job? And I know this is an interesting question, considering a lot of people now work from home. Do you have a job? Do you work outside your home? Do you work strictly with your children, your parents, your grandchildren, your grandparents, your siblings, with your besties? You only work around the people you like, that as far as you're concerned are drama free? Even if you work from home, if you have to get on the phone, if you have to do Zoom meetings and calls, do you have to engage anyone? Do you go out of your house? I know you can order your groceries, but do you go out of your house to get your groceries? Do you go out to buy your toiletries? Well, Gabe, I do, but I just go and I try not to interact with anybody. I just don't say that to nobody because I don't want no drama. No drama. Do you understand the seriousness of that D word? that if your working definition essentially is by not engaging anyone ever, I can stay drama free. Well, I think your definition is pretty dramatic. Because drama is the root word of dramatic. I think your definition is rather dramatic. It's rather extreme. It's over the top. Now, you don't have to agree with me. I understand that, but I need you to think about this because you are what makes up any community. Remember that a community is built off of its individual people. It's not built off of our cars. It's not built by our homes. It's not built by our bank accounts. It's not built by our education. It is built by us. A community is comprised of us. And in any community, no matter the levels of interaction within the community, there is the possibility, yes, of drama at the point of the interaction. If you're married, how are you exactly drama-free? How exactly do you stay drama-free? If you are a parent, how do you stay drama-free? Well, Gabe, my kids are absolutely perfect. So then why are you raising them? Well, they're already grown. And so I'm so I'm so allergic to drama. If my son or daughter says anything that sounds dramatic, I got to get off the phone. You can't come by the house. Don't come for Christmas. Don't come for Thanksgiving. Do you understand how dynamic? If your working definition of drama includes anything that doesn't appease you, we're almost there. Then are they really a significant part of your community? Y'all know me. You watch any number of these broadcasts, you know how I do. Come on. Are they really any part of your community? Really? Are they really? Or is it that in your community, when you think about community, see, what you think about is a retirement home. See, when you think about community, you think about a golf course. When you think about community, you think about golf clap. I don't even know how you tolerate me because I'm loud. I'm in your social media community. How you watching me? If you don't want no drama, I'm dramatic, if you have not noticed. See them dramatic eyes I just put on you right there? Bam, hit you with your dramatic eyes. So if you are a person who's trying to stay away from, watch this now, drama, how do you deal with life issues? How do you do it? How do you deal with life issues if you're a person whose whole mission, whole goal is to avoid drama? How do you do it? If that's your life goal, if that's your life mission, how on God's green earth do you handle issues? For example, medical. How do you handle your own medical issues if the whole idea is to not be dramatic? When you get sick, do you go to emergency room? And by the way, hospitals are a part of people's communities. My son has a doctor's appointment tomorrow morning, 6-month checkup or whatever the case may be. So that means I'm going to be in the space with other people, nurse practitioner, doctors, other patients, parents of patients going to the pediatric clinic. So that means there's going to be, now I may not have full conversations. I understand that, but you get my point. There's going to be interactions to some extent or another. If I'm trying to live drama-free, I can't go to the doctor. I can't go to the grocery store because I might be standing in a line to buy my items and somebody gets into a heated conversation on their phone. It happens all the time. Co-workers may have a disagreement. A manager may be correcting an employee. That's dramatic. How do you work on a job where you have to interact with other people in any sense of form. There's a lady that works at one of two Dollar Trees I go to, and they both are basically about the same distance from me. So it depends on which direction I'm going. If I'm going one way or another, I can stop at a Dollar Tree. I got 4 Walmarts around me. You know how it works. And this lady is rude. She works as a cashier at one of these Dollar Trees. She's rude. And I saw her when I went in recently. I prepared myself because she was rude the last time I saw her. She doesn't always work cash register, but the last 2 times I've gone in, she's been at the cash register. I knew I was going to have to deal with her, so I got myself ready to go. And no matter how nice and I'm generally a nice person, but no matter how nice I tried to be, she found a way to say something to me in a manner that is not because I've worked in customer service. That's not becoming customer service. I don't know her. I don't know her. I don't even know her name. She doesn't wear a name tag. I don't know her. But she was rude. 2 times I've gone to her because they didn't have another cashier, and 2 times she was rude. Now, of course, I've given thought to whether or not to contact a manager and on and go through all of that process. She might actually be a manager. I don't know. They don't wear different shirts. Managers don't wear different shirts at Dollar Tree from the workers. I don't know. I'm just sharing that with you to help you understand. I'm not going to stop, and I've already resolved. I'm not going to stop going to it's a matter of convenience. If you're shopping at Dollar Tree, that's about convenience, economic convenience, location convenience, typically. Because the 2 Dollar Trees that I go to regularly are right next to Walmarts. Get where I'm going? So if I'm going to try to avoid drama or some unsavory, now let's give a definition. My working definition for drama is just basically unsavory interactions, unsavory situations, unsavory or unpleasant, right? That's my, do I love unsavory or unpleasant situations? No. No, I don't look for, I don't try to seek out unpleasant, unsavory, disorderly situations. I don't go looking for them. I don't have to. At 47 and a half years old, almost 48, you don't have to go looking for them. I'm old enough to know they just exist. They're just out there. Because see, I had to keep engaging my community. Somebody helped me understand over 6 years ago, you work a job. I had to go to my job Monday through Friday. 7 a.m. to 3:30 a.m., 3 p.m. I had to go. I lived in a mobile home community. It wasn't a mobile home park. It was a mobile home community. That's what they called it. And so, you know, I'd walk out my house. I might see my neighbor. Now, I could be rude and act like I don't see him. Or, excuse me, I can engage him. I chose to engage him. At least, hey, good morning or good afternoon or good evening. Obviously, you go to a place of, if you so happen to be a religious person, and you go to a place of worship, though I see people every week, I'm not calling any names, who seem to know how to successfully slip in late, leave early, and only engage a handful of people, despite the size of the congregation. Again, I'm not calling no names. It's just amazing to watch it. No fellowship almost at all. It's crazy. A place of fellowship, and they don't fellowship. But the reality of it is, in particular when it comes to drama, unpleasant situations, unsavory situations, interactions, keep it drama free. My thing is, yeah, don't be unintentionally unpleasant, but it happens. Recognize we only control us in any situation, unless, of course, you're talking about your children. And even sometimes in those situations, you don't always control them. Right? Now let's connect this to dating for those who are single. Let me do this. So when you start talking about dating, going out on dates, men, women, doesn't matter which side, there is a possibility at any point, at the point of the initial communication, all the way through to a date, right? Actually sitting down or across from someone, next to whatever, there is the possibility for unpleasantness or drama. See how I'm defining that? That person may not necessarily live close, so you can't go out on a date with them. But if the person lives relatively close to you, or you drive to the location, you drive however long it takes to get there, and you engage in a date. I don't want to hear about out of house, in a house. I'm not talking about location, the specific location. I mean you on a date, a scheduled event. Notice what I said. Drama, see how it fits so well together? A drama is an unpleasant event. It is unpleasantness within an event. So there is dating so happen to be a place for potential unpleasantness. And I suspect there are many of you who would agree. Who would agree that their dating presents the opportunity for unpleasantness or drama, for unsavory interactions. Get it? And in the moment that you're sitting with that person, man or woman, doesn't matter. Because we can even talk about, it's not dating, but of course there's also the outings, social outings, just going out with friends. And even in those spaces, those things can become unsavory, unpleasant. Start adding in drinking, start adding in drugs, or whatever the case may be. Throw in a stranger to the group. Any number of events can happen. Somebody at the location, wherever you may be, can misbehave and it become unpleasant. You wanted to maintain a pleasantness. You might be the one who becomes unpleasant after a couple of these or some of this. You might be the one. I don't know. I'm not here to nitpick on men or women or who's causing the most drama. No, this is about community. So if you're single and you accept dating invitations or you extend dating invitations and you go out to open spaces or you meet at more private, more secluded locations, whatever the case may be, the moment you get two or more people together, there's the opportunity for drama. Get it? See how this works? The moment someone is introduced into your community, there's an opportunity for drama. There's an opportunity for something to go awry. But let me ask you this question. Does the fear of something becoming dramatic become the reason not to engage in this event? Now we're getting to the issue of effect. Is this causing you your fear of it potentially becoming dramatic? Now, dramatic again can be anything just from some misspoken words that are offensive, and I'm not making that minimal. I'm not minimizing. That's serious. To just completely inappropriate behavior to someone else, doing something, fighting or acting a fool, or, the food not being good. If you go out to a restaurant, hey, it happens. But does the fear of that, for those of you who are single, now even married couples have date nights and occasionally go out on their date nights. Again, I'm not getting so much into where you go, but obviously those of you who are married or been married before and have gone on date nights, some places, i.e. bars, clubs, especially when there's some of this, some drinking, where there's some alcoholic beverages, maybe some dancing, right? Can potentially include drama? I'm going to ask it again. Does that cause you? Does it cause you, so even if you're married, to just try to stay oblivious to your community? If we deal with drama exclusively, how about work? Have some of you opted for jobs to work from home, not just because it's convenient and you want to stay in your pajamas, but because you did not like the office drama, the schoolyard drama, or the whatever. Is it possible that some of you have opted to work from home if you have the option because you're so afraid of uneasy and uncomfortable situations? I'm gonna get on your nerve. Is it possible that you're ready to kick your child out because of the unpleasantness of their presence? Again, I'm not getting into particular things they may be doing, but especially your grown children. Are you ready to not throw them away, but let's just be honest, you're ready to get them away from you. And if they're grown and live in their own places, you keep them away from you because you're so desperately trying not to have any drama, trying not to have any unpleasantness, that you're willing to risk years and years and years of spending any time whatsoever with your children. And if they have grandchildren, then your grandchildren as well, because you're just trying your hardest to stay drama free. This is one of these D words. I hear them. I hear this word and read this word all the time. I get on a social dating media site, and what do you think is in? And of course, because I'm a male, I'm looking at female profiles. What do you think I read? One of those keywords: drama free. Don't come at me with all that unpleasantness. Okay, I get it. But the fact is, let me go back to my single folks. Do you want to get into a relationship? Have you ever been in a relationship? Was that relationship actually drama free? Isn't it true? If you're just honest with yourself, I'm just going to talk. You got to figure it out. Don't we all got to live with a measure of drama? Don't we? Don't we all got to live with a measure of unpleasantness? Don't we? Even when we're by ourselves? If you're like me and you're getting older, see them grays? Yeah. I got the drama of hurt knees. Hurt knees. I gotta wear these compression fit knee braces. I got the drama of occasional back problems. I got the drama of a hernia. I got the drama of high blood pressure and hypertension. I'm a father. I have the drama of raising my son, who's soon to be 12 years old, on Monday. Make all gifts and cards out to Gabriel Matthews, which so happens to be his name and my name. All cash comes to me. Everything else goes to him. No, I'm kidding. But we both are named Gabriel. So the reality of it is, I can't avoid drama because I got drama in my body, and this hernia acts up from time to time. I can't get rid of that drama. It's just a part of me till I get surgery, and I can't get surgery till I get some medical coverage that will allow me to get the surgery. That's just the reality, ladies and gentlemen. I had to learn, listen to me, I had to learn to get over myself and to recognize, watch this, as much as I can sit at home, and I do, I can put a movie on and not answer my phone and not send out a text message or a Facebook Messenger or any other message. Duo, man, all these kind of things, WhatsApp and all the rest of it. I am very comfortable in my own skin. Why don't I use the phrase homebody anymore? Because I have, over these years of being single, learned how to appreciate community. I have learned how to appreciate the individuals in my community. I have learned how to overcome a fear of the dramatic, of the unpleasant, of the unsavory interaction. Has it happened on dates? Yes. Years ago. Wow. 5, 6, 7. It's been some time. Not 5 years. It's been 5 years. But about 4 years ago, I drove 2.5 hours from Mesquite to Mesquite, Texas to Killeen, Texas. Sat down with a young lady. We were supposed to meet for breakfast at IHOP. Breakfast. That was supposed to be 10. She got there 12:30. Now I drove 2.5 hours, so it wasn't like I was going to turn around and just go home. So I waited. She got there late, and then she proceeded to order 2 plates that I paid for. I paid for 3. I paid for myself, but I paid for her, and she decided, since her daughter liked a certain meal from IHOP, to order for her daughter, for which I paid for. Very unsavory, very unpleasant situation. Very unpleasant. But I was a gentleman. I was respectful. I did what I was taught to do. I treated her with the utmost respect. Since I extended the invitation, despite her being late, I paid for the meal. I appreciated her, and I went on my way. I went on my way. Drove 2.5 hours home. No, we haven't talked since. And it's not necessarily because of that. Don't get the impression. Clearly, if somebody wants to be disrespectful or whatever the case may be, then, you know, I'm not going to force the issue, because, again, I'm not seeking dramatic situations. I'm not pursuing dramatic circumstances. I just understand that if I'm going to socialize, if I'm going to get to know people, at some point or another, I got to have a conversation, whether it's messenger or text messages or telephone calls or sit across from them in a restaurant or walk around a park. Whatever the case may be, at some point or another, there's got to be interaction with people in a community, whether as a single person, as a married person, as a person working in an office, or working as a nurse or doctor or school teacher or trash person or whatever. Social interactions are necessary because we are social beings, and the possibility of uneasy, unsavory things is there too. I sat across from one lady, quite a few years older than me, no problem, just out for an outing, Applebee's, Tyler, Texas, years ago. Years ago. I lived in Texas. I drove another hour and some change, something like that, from Mesquite to Tyler. I sat there. This lady was in her 50s. I'm in my 40s. And she showed up looking rather youthful. And I don't mean her face. I mean her attire was more like something that my 31-year-old niece might wear. She showed me some videos of some things she went to, of a lady who was plus size, which I have no problem with, but she was scantily dressed, and it was some kind of bikers rally, and the lady was dancing provocatively, and on and on and on and on. And I sat there, and when the event was over, I went home. I was like, okay, that was interesting, you know, and no, I didn't proceed to talk to the lady anymore. I thought that was a bit dramatic, you know. Now that's probably just her. That's just what she likes. That's what she's about. Cool. No problem, right? So when you look at the dating piece in terms of community, for those who are single, men or women, if you're watching this or you have friends who are single and they keep telling you, I don't want to deal with drama, I don't want to deal with drama, ask them if they really want to be in a relationship. Because, look, I'm sorry that you don't just get to meet the person that you're going to marry and be with for the rest of your life, right off. I'm sorry. It doesn't usually work that way. It doesn't. You got to go out on some dates. You got to have some conversations. You got to exchange some numbers. You got to send some text messages. You got to talk through it. You got to learn some things about people. I know that's unpleasant. I see it all the time. I hate this dating thing. I hate this dating thing. I hate this dating thing. You know, and what's so funny to me, these people keep talking about dating is so different than what it was before. Okay, like, what do you mean? You mean other than social media? Because people ain't different. Do you understand? People ain't different. Just because you meet them on social media as opposed to meeting them face to face, they're not different. Let me get real candid for a second. I've been pretty lighthearted with this. We'll get to the other three next week. We'll finish with this. Stop this madness of thinking that men, ladies, are somehow worse jerks than they were before. Stop that. Stop that. Social media has not made men jerks. Social media has allowed them to present themselves in a certain light, but they're still whoever they are. Nobody is raised by social media. They are raised by mothers. They are raised by fathers. They're raised by guardians. Whoever we are, nature, nurture. Social media may be a place of expressing that, but stop this nonsense that somehow social media is the issue. No, social media ain't the issue. No more than TV or the music. No, those things are expressions of something going on the inside. A narcissist is a narcissist. An egomaniac is an egomaniac. A man who will sleep with 415,000 women is a man who will sleep with 415,000 women. Social media just gives him access in a way that he might not otherwise have unless he's famous. In other words, don't blame social dating. Well, catfishing. Men and women do that. And don't you think they did that when they would talk on the phone? It's called blind dating. Okay, we didn't have before. Yeah, it did. A blind date. Hey, somebody's cousin of a cousin told me they got a single cousin, a friend who want a date. And man, you been single, man. Go on this date, man. Is she cute? Yeah. Yeah. Have you even seen her? Man, I ain't seen her. Get her number, talk to her on the phone, get his number, whatever. Talk to him on the phone. Oh, yes. My measurements are this. No, good and well, it ain't your measurements. And show up, and it's not what you thought. Not what you thought at all. Catfishing didn't start with social media. Catfishing started before social media. Long before social media. Lying about being married started before social media. Man got a whole family. Woman got a whole family, and over here. That didn't start with no social media. So you're not going to avoid drama by avoiding dating sites. Okay, you avoid the drama on the dating sites, but you're not going to avoid the drama of dating. If you want to get married, you might want to go on some social outings. You might want to sit across from somebody in some space at some point. You might want to exchange a number. You might want to chat a little bit and get to know them the best you can. So if you're scared of drama, you might as well just be single. And I see some of y'all saying that, men and women, I'll just be single. Well, then stop threatening to be single and just be single, for goodness sake. Just be single. Be single. And if you know you don't have any intentions of being single, stop that madness, get over yourself, toughen up a little bit, and recognize a little bit of drama might come with the situation, and then make some decision about how much drama. Not no drama at all. Well, somebody might as well go on and just blow your brains out. Yeah, I said it, and put you in a grave somewhere. Because if you're on the planet and you working jobs and you're raising children and you're dealing with grandkids and you got grown kids and you dealing with your friends and your cousins and on and on and on and on, and you got to go to the grocery stores and you got to go to the department stores, you are likely going to run into some drama, even on the road where you don't feel like you got to talk to somebody. They'll cut you off while you're on the road and you just experience drama. You just experienced drama because they cut you off and blew their horn at you and cussed you out. You can't avoid drama. ladies and gentlemen. Yes, where you can, minimize it. But once it comes to engaging your community, especially now, I use dating as a connection, especially for those who are single. But even if you're married, if you're going to go out on dates, there's a real possibility that either the person that you're out on a date with or their wife or husband, I'm sorry, I'm kidding. You might get that call. Hey, this is so-and-so's wife. This is so-and-so's husband. Leave my spouse alone. You just got some drama you didn't intend. Now, do you give up completely if you really want to get into a major long-term exclusive relationship, i.e. engagement or marriage? Yeah, I said it. Do you give up because somebody is a charlatan, somebody is a liar, somebody is a crook, somebody is lazy, somebody is good for nothing? Do you just completely write everything off? Do you throw the baby out with the bathwater? You will never get into a relationship. And if you're trying to get a drama-free relationship, you can hang it up. Some drama is not only necessary, might actually be fun. Gay. Ain't no drama fun. Then why you like watching dramas or dramedies, comedy dramas? So it's okay to be entertained by, and some of you on TikTok and YouTube and all this stuff, and Facebook got this whole thing, and you watching other people's dramas. You're watching other people's dramas unfold, and it's entertaining to you, and you're on the social media, and you're commenting on their dramas, and you're taking out your cell phone to watch another Karen do her thing, and you're recording their dramas, but you don't want no drama in your life. How dare you? You're fine with other people's dramas. You're fine with other people's dramatic situations, unpleasant situations, but you don't want to have any yourself. So it's okay if somebody's dramatic situations entertain you, but it's not okay when it comes to you. Wow, that seems a little bit hypocritical to me. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on it, but that seems a little hypocritical. Just a little bit. That's it. We're going to deal with depression. We're going to deal with divorce. We're going to deal with desperation. And really, I could have dealt with desperation tonight because in some sense, I can connect it. Because some of the drama that we experience, particularly those who are single, if you look at it from a standpoint of dating, it can cause one to be desperate. But we'll deal with desperation. I want to go a little bit different way. I just threw that in tonight. But we'll deal with that next week. So come back next week, tag some friends, tell them about it, let them know, share this out. If you're on YouTube, share this out. You can share it in Messenger. You can share it on a text message. You can share it, I think, on Instagram. You can share these videos now. Get them in front of as many people as possible. If you are not connected to me on YouTube, like, click, subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm here on Thursdays, 9 Central Standard Time, 7 Pacific, 8 Mountain, and of course 10 o'clock Eastern. Till next week, when we chat again, we'll see you soon. Take care.